Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle a thought experiment that has been tying philosophers' brains in knots for literally thousands of years. It's a puzzle all about identity, about change, and what it even means for something or someone to stay the same over time.
Okay, so imagine this. There's this legendary historic ship. It's a huge deal, so it's kept in a harbor for everyone to come and see. But, time does its thing. As each old wooden plank starts to rot, it's very carefully taken out and replaced with a brand new, perfect copy. This process goes on and on for years and years until, well, not a single shred of the original wood is left.
And that, right there, is the heart of the puzzle. If every single part has been switched out, is the ship floating in that harbor still the original Ship of Theseus? And if you say no, then when did it stop being the original? Was it after the first plank? The 500th? The very last one? It's a real head-scratcher.
To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to go way back to where the story first started, with a pretty famous hero from Greek mythology.
So this is Theseus, the legendary founder and king of Athens. The story goes that he famously sailed to Crete, took down the Minotaur, and saved a bunch of Athenian kids. The ship he did it on became a national treasure. To honor his victory, the people of Athens kept that ship for hundreds of years as a memorial.
Now, we know all about this because of the ancient historian Plutarch. He's the one who wrote down that the very real, very practical job of just maintaining the ship, pulling out old planks, putting in new ones, is what kicked off this huge philosophical argument. You had one camp saying, of course it's the same ship, and the other side firing back, no way, it's completely different.
And for a long time, that's where the puzzle stood. But then, fast forward to the 17th century, and the English philosopher Thomas Hobbes comes along and decides to make things way more complicated.
Hobbes said, okay, let's add a twist. Imagine that every time a rotten old plank was pulled off the ship in the harbor, there was a custodian who collected every single one of those old pieces and kept them in a warehouse.
And then, what if that custodian took all of those original decayed planks and put them back together, building a second ship? Whoa, now we have a real problem. Which one of these is the real Ship of Theseus? Is it Ship A, the one that's been in the harbor all this time? Or is it Ship B, the one made of all the original bits and pieces?
See, what Hobbes does here is so brilliant. He basically splits our definition of sameness into two competing ideas. Ship A has the same form. It's got the design, the name, the history, the continuity. But Ship B has the same matter. It's made of the actual physical stuff from the beginning. So it forces us to ask, what do we care about more, form or matter?
Okay, so faced with this totally bonkers choice, philosophers, being philosophers, have come up with a few clever ways to try and solve it, or at least escape the paradox. One popular idea says we're just confusing two different things. The ship, the object with a name and a story, is actually separate from the pile of wood it's made from. They just happen to be in the same place at the same time. So the ship as an idea or object can continue, even if all the wood it's constituted from changes.
Another kind of mind-bending theory suggests that things don't really persist through time as one single object. Instead, any object is just a series of time slices. So the ship on Monday is one thing, and the ship on Tuesday is a totally different but related thing. If you think that way, the paradox just disappears. There was never one same ship to begin with.
Then you have some scientists who come at it from a completely different angle. They argue the problem isn't out there with the ship and the wood. Nope, the problem is in our heads. The paradox just shows us a funny quirk in how our brains are wired to see patterns and continuity, even when it gets logically messy.
And finally, there's the simplest take of all, sometimes called deflationism. These folks just say, everybody relax, there's no deep cosmic mystery here. The whole thing is just an argument about words. The word same can mean different things in different contexts. Once we just agree on what we mean by same, the so-called puzzle just pops out of existence.
So once you understand this paradox, I'm telling you, you will start to see it everywhere. It's not just some dusty old philosophical problem. It pops up in TV shows, in history, and yeah, even when you look in the mirror.
There's this fantastic bit in the classic British sitcom Only Fools and Horses. A character named Trigger proudly says he's had the same broom for 20 years. But then he adds, it's only had 17 new heads and 14 new handles. It's the Ship of Theseus paradox played for a laugh, and it's perfect. And it's not just a Greek thing or a British thing. You can find this idea in folktales all around the world. In America, it might be grandfather's axe. In France and Spain, it's Janot's knife.
In Hungary, it's a famous hero's pocket knife. It seems to be a universal human puzzle.
And this happens in real life too. Take the USS Constitution, the famous American warship known as Old Ironsides. It's still considered the original ship, right? But experts estimate that after all the repairs over the centuries, only about 10% of its original material is even left.
Maybe the most beautiful example is the Ise Grand Shrine in Japan. For centuries, it has been ritually and completely rebuilt from scratch every 20 years. For them, the shrine's identity isn't in the physical wood at all. It's in the tradition, the design, the sacred ritual that continues unbroken through time.
And this, of course, brings the paradox right back home, to us. You know, your body is constantly rebuilding itself. Over about 7 to 10 years, pretty much all the cells that make you up are replaced. So, are you the same person you were a decade ago? If all your matter has been swapped out, what is it that makes you, you? Your memories, your personality? The Ship of Theseus, in the end, isn't really about a ship at all, is it? It's a question about who we are. So, what do you think?